I started it last time.
I think the music does.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, welcome back to Fader Follow. What a show that we have for you guys. Shut up. What a show we have for you guys today.
Freaking mark it down. One.
We got an interview with Eric Soza coming up, new Rockport Fulton head coach, and first ever UTSA quarterback. He was kind enough to sit down with us, have a nice conversation. We'll get that to you guys here in a minute. But first, we got to talk about the Dallas Mavs choking at home against the Boston Celtics. They put up a good fight at the end, right? Down 20, went on a 22 to
3.
They were so close. Like there was 2 possessions they could have gone ahead, and then Kyrie just missed both those little mid-range jumpers. Luka fouled out. I don't know why they challenged that call. I mean, that was a clear blocking.
You have to. You're just gonna let them foul out.
That was a clear blocking.
Okay.
foul.
No.
Yeah.
You wasted timeout doing that, but I guess it didn't matter in the end. So
Yeah. What would you rather have, Luka in the game or that timeout?
the timeout.
No, you have Luka in the
You
game.
knew you weren't
Luka.
gonna. I'm just saying, if you would have
There's a
known, if
possibility.
you would have known that it was a blocking foul, which everyone on the bench should have known, that was clear blocking foul.
Luka didn't think so.
Brian Windhorst agrees with you.
Luka can
Turn
barely
that
speak
mic down.
English, so
Turn that mic down.
Turn it all the way down. All the way.
yeah. We got our intern in the studio, Dustin. He's been on the show before. You came on with Coach Alvarez. Possibly. No, we won't go there. We won't go there.
What?
Probably not a good idea to go there. No, we won't go there.
No, don't go there.
Dustin has retired from coaching. He is now an insurance agent and possibly doing some stuff with us in the future. Maybe. We can't pay you. We'll pay you a little bit less than what we pay Austin.
Dustin already said they're going to sponsor the show, so it's already set in stone.
Okay, so we ain't got no choice. He has to be. He has to be here.
Hey, you just gave him freaking a shot of $100 whiskey, so that's
Cheers.
one shot show. You're it. That's it.
That's his salary. One drink.
But he has a good time with us, right? You have a good time while you're here, huh?
Oh, yeah. Good times. It's nice whenever it gets later in the night and Austin's air conditioning comes down a little bit lower. It feels better.
See, you can't talk shit
everyone.
about the host.
I don't think it's gotten the AC's come on once up here, has it?
Yeah, it's a little bit cooler.
It's a little cooler. Feels better.
Because the window's open.
When I turned on the AC, it was 85.
When we got here, it was 85?
degrees. Well, it's 85 downstairs. It was probably 90 upstairs.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a fair statement.
Hey, this is our version of 2 a days.
Yeah.
Hot box, baby. Hot box.
How do we? Hey, we got to pay for the studio. Got to make money, spend money. Wait, spend money.
You're spending all your money on your electric bill, not having your AC on.
How's that make sense?
It's got to work
Nah,
3 times as hard.
None of them
To
have
get-
spent any money on the studio except
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, you
you're
see
in
this?
you're in a studio with AC.
Hey, who bought this?
I did.
Okay. What about this?
I bought that. Everything over there.
What about this?
Oh, God.
Oh,
I won't go
this.
there. I'm not the type of guy to throw things in y'all's face. We all own that. We all bought it.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's technically mine because
We're all one. Like kind of like
it's in my house, so yeah, it's technically mine.
What is mine and yours? What
Mm-hmm.
is yours is mine.
Did you buy that Jordan Love t-shirt?
No, I did not actually. That was a gift.
From who?
That was a gift, Todd.
From you.
Everything he has.
Wow.
Wow.
Did you get those sunglasses? He was like, I borrowed them, never gave them back.
Blew up in my eyes.
Dang.
We're waiting on a call from a close friend of ours.
Surprise guest.
Is
Past
it?
2 days, he's said he'd call me back, but he's not. He hasn't called me back. No dice.
No dice.
Damn. We're hoping to break some news here, but I guess we're not going to. But let's get back to the NBA thing. Do the Mavs have a chance now? Are they going to pull something out of their ass?
What did I tell you the other day?
157 and 157 and 0. 3-0, 3-0 lead in the playoff.
What did I tell you the other day? It's not over until the home team loses.
They
And
just
And the home team.
freaking lost.
So, breaking news: the Mavericks will lose the NBA Finals.
it's true.
There just
Well,
doesn't
they lose
seem
the next game.
they have decent. they have decent role players, but they don't have good role players. Like when PJ Washington's your best role player like that, I mean he's okay. He's from Dallas. He's kind of like a hometown kid. But will they lose the next game? No, I think they'll win the next one.
The NBA cannot lose that much money.
Yeah,
With the sweep.
they're gonna have to let the Mavericks win that one. Yeah, and then go back to no, don't they play 3 in Dallas? It goes 2-3-2.
Might go 6.
Yeah.
It does, right?
Yeah, it does.
Well, I don't know if they changed it or not, but that's how I always remembered it to be. So yeah, it could go 6 and they win it back in Boston. But Celtics are fired up in this series, man. They did the whole Bill Walton thing. They got the patch on the jersey and everything. It's they deserve it. They have been the best team all year. They've played the best all year, and they're stacked, man. They are just too good, like too good. Even with Porzingis out, it's like they didn't miss.
They don't even need
him.
him.
No,
They don't even need him.
Who's the Finals MVP?
Brown.
No.
Drew Holiday.
Brown.
There we go.
Drew Holiday.
It's not Drew Holiday.
Yes, it is.
Well, he had a slow game last night.
Oh my god.
But
dude.
I think Jaylen Brown is probably gonna. He's the favorite to win it. But Drew Holiday's not far behind.
By the way, how is he not on the Olympic
Dude,
team?
And you,
What?
Jaylen
Holiday
Brown.
is not going to do anything the next game compared to Brown. What Brown's going to do? It's going to be like
Dude, Brown is making some bullshit though.
They're
Like fading
teasing.
away from 7 feet and making
Just
shots.
to win that game. It's like, oh, Mavs
Jason
were,
Tatum threw him a bone.
Yeah.
That's all that was.
Mavs were coming back. Freaking Jason Tatum.
Jason
Tatum's
Tatum's still better. Jason Tatum's still better.
Even
Wide
let the-
open layup.
Jason Tatum's still
Why
better.
didn't he get MVP then of the Eastern Conference?
Because he took the series off. Is all he did. He's nursing some injuries,
That's what the
man.
best player does.
Nursing
That's
some
what the
injuries.
best player does.
That's what he does.
Take games off.
He takes all the attention. That way the other guys can shine. Those are good role players that they have over there.
Okay, let me just read this, and y'all
Let me
y'all
hear it.
tell
Let me
me
hear it.
whose
Let me
stat
hear it.
line was better. 31 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather have 30 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists?
The second one.
Those are pretty good.
That's Jason Brown.
Exactly.
Jason
Jaylen
Brown. I didn't know he
Jason
was
Brown?
Jason Brown.
He's a player?
They had a baby or what?
You're talking about Last
Yeah.
Chance U?
Jaylen Brown, yeah.
No, the one Jason Tatum is the one that I'd rather have.
No, it's too late. You already said the second one.
Jason Tatum's almost averaging a triple-double in these finals. So
Okay, let me give you the game 2 stat line then.
Oh, yeah.
21 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists.
that's one. Tatum had 18, 9, and 13.
You're right.
But what is that? That's not a triple-double.
Yeah.
So.
You know who did have a triple-double that game? Luka.
Luka.
Best player in the series.
Clearly.
Hey, who was the last one that won the Finals MVP without winning the series?
Jerry West.
There we go.
R.I.P.
Sir.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah. Moment of silence.
What's your best Jerry West story?
From winning time.
Winning time. Yeah.
Let's
He
hear
said
it.
that was not him.
That was a great actor to play for him. He
Yes.
looked just like him too, right?
Yeah.
No, just as a great actor. I don't know if he looked alike, but
They did look alike.
decently. But
Yeah.
he played that part freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You know who's a good actor? Lawrence Fishburne.
Don Cheadle.
He
Don
is a
Cheadle.
good
That's
actor.
Scott's favorite actor.
You ever seen Hotel Rwanda?
Mm,
Movie.
you ever seen Predators?
Who's in that?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Freaking. Who's the guy who killed himself in jail?
Aaron Hernandez?
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, that one. The guy that killed himself in prison. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah. Because you said Predators, the movie Predators.
Oh.
He's not an actor.
See what
I
you did
know.
there.
Yeah.
I specifically said, can we just keep this a little clean? And it's just getting worse.
You dropped the F-bomb.
I know I
within a
did. I
second.
know.
Yeah.
You set the bar
I know
low.
I did.
I dropped one too, so I won't mark it.
All right.
But who did it first?
James did.
I did.
I already had marked.
I did. The hockey playoffs, game 3 is tonight. Florida is up 1-0 right now.
Are they?
Possible sweeps in the NHL and the NBA, which is
And,
terrible because all we have is baseball for the
what's
next 2 months.
And golf, but yeah.
Yeah.
Easy
Not the
there.
greatest either.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that TikTok
if
I
US Open?
posted. Did you see that TikTok I posted about the golf thing when I said I didn't think they were to play golf? You didn't have to be athletic.
Yeah.
That was actually a hit. That thing took off.
Yeah.
I think it had over like 60
You're
something.
right though, James. Because someone commented about basketball. Oh, you could say the same thing about basketball, but it's like.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say
dude,
nothing
it's
back. I was like,
it's like you're making the point. Of course, anyone can play, but you got to be a an athlete if you're going to be any good.
Well, let me ask you this: do you have to be athletic to be
Yes.
okay at basketball?
1-1.
To be okay
Yes.
at basketball.
Yes.
Yes.
There are other factors. Well,
Okay. Do you have to be athletic to be okay at golf?
Yes.
No, you don't.
No.
No, absolutely
No,
not.
golf is a
Hand-eye
standstill
coordination.
sport.
Everything.
No, you don't.
no. But you can play golf and not be good at it.
Anybody can play golf.
Yeah.
Look at Cody Aguirre. Never played a sport in his life, and he is a badass golfer.
Exactly.
Oh, for real?
I'm not saying he's not athletic because I'm not trying to disrespect him.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I didn't say he wasn't athletic. I just said look at him. He never played a sport in his life, and he's a
I think
bad.
this Cody Aguirre slander.
Yeah, exactly.
I-
Let me tell you the story about
I
Cody
brought him back
Aguirre.
up at the end. I said he's a great
Yeah.
golfer. He is.
A compliment
Oh.
sandwich.
What?
Yeah.
What is it? Yes.
Yeah.
What's our saying?
What?
Clutch like
Oh, clutch like Cody Aguirre.
boom, boom.
I agree. I want him taking that last shot on that
One
part
time,
there.
during recess, I swear on my life. One time during recess, we all play football. This dude threw 6 interceptions. I swear. Dude was the worst. He was almost guaranteed 2 interceptions a game during recess. And for whatever reason, let him be quarterback. We just let him be quarterback every time, but it was almost guaranteed. It's probably.
I mean, he couldn't run.
His line was probably 2.5 interceptions per game, like over or under.
Y'all were desperate on the playground.
Oh,
huh?
yeah.
Who else did y'all have out there?
I don't know how on God's green earth you remember.
Everybody.
How do you remember?
Damn, dude.
Oh, dude, I remember everything.
That was like them Rockport Fulton Pirates before Eric Sosa
Yeah.
took over. He's gonna turn that place around. But yeah, no, that TikTok I posted about the golf thing really did very well. But that guy, I didn't understand what he was trying to say when he commented that, so I just liked it and was like, okay, because he said weird take, like
And then he made your point.
you have to be athletic to play basketball. I mean, you do have to be athletic to be good at basketball, football, hockey. But golf's just different. I'm not saying it's not a sport. It is a sport.
No, you don't. You just do that.
Did you make that?
Yep.
No, he didn't.
I knocked off the rim from last time.
No, you sold your
After-
soul.
after-
You sold your soul for Kelsey Plum that one time. That's
yeah.
it. You that was so wet too when
Yeah,
you
I
fucking,
did.
when you
dude.
drained that. It was perfect. And then Darren Waller retired because he heard it.
Yep.
The shot heard around the world. But
Did you hear that story?
what's
Basically had
the
a panic attack or
who did?
why he retired. Darren
Who?
Waller.
I think he's back on drugs.
Could
Think
be.
so?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it could be the after effects of all the
I
shit
don't
that he
wanna-
did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good dude. He seems like a good dude.
It seems like he was having a panic attack. Called the ambulance. Like,
I feel like there was more news we needed to talk about.
Caitlin Clark.
She broke his heart.
What happened?
No, nothing.
Caitlin Clarkson.
Oh, this was, I'm a pro Caitlin Clark, but it was like, she was like, I'm going to be a monster or something. Something along those lines.
Oh, yeah, I'm
She
gonna
got left off the roster, and then
She went to the coach.
She dropped 10 points, so that was kind of disappointing, but
Hey,
It's really
I
hard.
still-
even
hope
the
she
best
does
fall
good.
down.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, even the
I
best
know.
fall down.
she's going to get
Dude,
back
I'm
up.
telling you, if you watch the game, look at her freaking team, dude. It's,
Dude, I've never seen a WNBA game ever.
You're the problem.
You are the problem.
Yeah.
You and James.
Me,
I mean, I'm just kidding.
I would go to a game in person.
I'm a Caitlin Clark advocate, dog. I even bought her jersey. Not that cheap shit either from AliExpress. Okay, let's get to the interview with Eric Sosa. He was kind enough to join us, and I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have landed a big fish. Joining the show with us today, a South Texas high school football legend with so many records and accolades for the Beeville Trojans. He's a man, he stood tall, took on the challenge of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, leading them into battle, because that's what this good old South Texas boy does. After following in his father Chris Sosa's legendary footsteps, he's taken his talents down to Rockport Beach. Please welcome to the show new Rockport Fulton head coach and athletic director Eric Sosa.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that intro. That was a really good one, James.
How's it going, man? Doing all right?
It's going great. It's going great. It's been a whirlwind for sure over the last couple of I guess a month now. And so but it's been a great situation and ready to get moved over here. We actually closed on our house on Monday. So it's hopefully we can get moved over here and dive into this community and love up on them as much as they've loved up on me for the past month.
Awesome, awesome. How you guys liking it over there? Have you been spending a lot of time down there? Or y'all still back and forth between there and Beeville?
I've been back and forth every single day. So I know a lot of people here in the community, they've said, well, we have a little rent house that you can have, but if you know me, I'm really big on family, and I've got 3 little kids that are at home, and a loving wife that supports me, and I've got to go home to them each and every day and see them. But it's early mornings and late nights, but it's well worth it for sure.
Coaching. That's coaching. All coaches say that. It's
Yes, sir.
most of your time. So, a couple things you should know before we start. You can say whatever you want. You know, don't be afraid to ask us anything. We're like I texted you. We're not a serious show whatsoever.
Mhm.
We do have a safe word here. If we ask you something you don't want to answer, you say flapjacks. All right. That means
Flapjacks.
no more answers. Okay. So, for
Gotcha.
example, Austin, do you still wear whitey tighties?
No, never have.
Oh well, he's an open book.
Yeah,
He's supposed to say
yeah.
that. I'm giving an example here, man.
Oh, flapjacks in the
There you go.
flapjacks in the
Now he gets it.
flapjacks
Now
in
he
the undies, eh?
I thought he was just gonna take his shorts down and show us.
Right?
We got-
I just got out of the shower, so yeah,
Nothing wrong with it. We don't judge here. But yeah, like I said, anything you want to ask us, you don't feel comfortable answering something, just let us know, man.
Gotcha.
So you're loving the scenery in Rockport there. It's a great place for family. Me and my family, we just got back from there actually last month. We're planning on going a couple more times here in June and July. We're staying at that Blue Lagoon RV resort, have an RV down there, and
Okay.
nice people there. Nice people. It's right there by the school. And
Okay.
I told these guys, Rockport, best looking women over 50 in that area. I'm telling you, it's the truth. It's the truth. You have to see it for yourself. But while I was over there, I noticed y'all got a lot of construction going on around the
Mhm.
football field there. Are they
Yeah.
doing some remodeling on the facilities there or what?
Yeah, so a couple years ago, they went for a bond, and they're actually doing really renovations to all the schools here, which is pretty cool. But particularly at the high school, they tore down a lot of the old facilities that were here right by the football stadium, and what they're doing is they're building a new entrance to the school. It's going to be a new band hall. It's going to be 2 stories. There's going to be classrooms on both stories with new offices, and they're also improving the athletic facilities. So we're getting a brand new weight room. There's going to be a big meeting room that we're going to be able to host really nice meetings in there, and then brand new locker rooms for all male and female athletes, along with coaching offices, and it's going to streamline pretty much into both gyms, the competition gym, the practice gym, and then straight into the school. So right now the males are housed in the field house right behind the visitor stadium. The females are housed in the gold gym, and that's across the campus. So it's there. There is no we don't really see a lot of the girl athletes because they got their own weight room over there. We got our weight room over here, and
A good
we have
thing.
we have really good facilities. It's just spread out, and they are old. And so hopefully by next Christmas, we're gonna have a really good Christmas present in a brand new weight room, locker rooms, meeting rooms, and pretty much streamline right into the academic side over there as well. So
Starts.
Yeah, only the best for Sosa, they're saying. They're already making things happen over there, guys. You see that?
no, this was long before. This was with Coach Seibert. Coach Bible was able to kind of help with some of the planning. But it's not just the high school. It's I mean, along with that, we're getting new stands in the baseball and softball field with some concession stands. I know the Fulton school, which my daughter will go 3 through 5. They're getting major renovations right now. I know the Live Oak Center had some renovations as well. So it's business is booming right now in Rockport Fulton ISD.
They get were they one of the schools that were affected by that hurricane that hit a few years back?
Majorly,
They were,
yes.
right? What
Yeah.
Port Aransas and Rockport and
Ingleside.
Yeah. some of the stories that I've heard, I mean, it's just it's what the pride of Rockport Fulton is the rebuilding of it, and a lot of the things that they're having to do now is because of what Harvey was able to do, and we're yeah, we're getting there was a lot of help that Rockport Fulton ISD received from the state. I know we go into our equipment room and we've got some shoulder pads and some shoes from the Dallas Cowboys that they gave to us, and a lot of services that people have, I guess, they try to help out Rockport ISD, Rockport Fulton ISD, with some subscriptions, free subscriptions, and slowly those things are starting to go away because kind of like COVID, those things it's starting to, okay, well, that help is no longer going to be there. So financially, we're starting to make our way back. I know with Harvey, the school district lost a lot of students. They obviously the school was no more pretty much. We couldn't house any kids, so everybody kind of had to spread out to other school districts. So we finally were able to get into the school. Really, the student attendance is climbing back up. It's not where we want it to be, but it's there right now. But that's something that's so special about Rockport Fulton. It's the strength of the people here. We have a lot of people on staff right now that were from that 2018 team that were affected from it, and it's. I mean, you get emotional sometimes whenever you talk to those people because the pride of what pirate pride, whenever they wear it across their chest, that's one of the main things, and it's so cool being a part of that, and I hope that I can leave a legacy that the long timers here will be proud of.
No doubt. Baby steps, though. You'll get back in
Yes, absolutely.
there. Before we get into the Rockport Pirates program and all the success you guys are gonna have here in the future, let's talk about some of your past endeavors. Obviously, we mentioned earlier that you were the first ever UTSA quarterback after transferring from Texas State. What was that like? And
Uh,
did you feel a lot of pressure, or was it a challenge you welcomed? Because I mean, you were at one time 14, 15-year-old kid starting on varsity,
mhm.
in Beeville. So was it something that just came natural to you, or I mean, talk about that.
Yeah, it was a dream, and out of high school, I wasn't heavily recruited. I know Texas A&M Kingsville, they offered me, Incarnate Word offered me, Mary Hardin offered me, and then Texas State, and the offensive coordinator at Texas State had a really good relationship. His dad was an actual was a head football coach in Texas and Texas high school, and had a really good relationship with him, and I went to Texas State, knew I was going to redshirt. They had a fifth-year senior there. He was Bradley George. I learned so much from him. But then after that season, that offensive coordinator, the guy that recruited me, he left and he went to UTSA. And so I went through the whole system spring and realized, kind of writing on the wall, that whenever that recruiter leaves, your safety net kind of leaves as well. And I wasn't really on scholarship at all. I was a lot of it was academic for me. So then once I kind of saw the writing on the wall, doors kind of opened. UTSA was there. Coach Coker, unbelievable mentor. I mean, national championship winning coach, gave me that opportunity. And that first year, whenever we were there, it was, yeah, it
You,
was,
you baby.
it was like 2-a-days all year long because all it was practice. We didn't get to play anybody. It was that practice year, and kind of if you're a reader, then it reminded me a lot of the Junction Boys back in the day, because it was offense versus defense, and it was a bloodbath pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday morning we had our little scrimmage, and then we were off Saturday, Sunday, and come back on Monday, do it all over again. And so as a quarterback, I mean, I was the oldest one in that room, and by 1 year. And that group, that team really, we didn't have any 5-star athletes. We had a bunch of no stars that felt like they had a chip on their shoulders, and that was kind of what I've
All back
always.
school, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And
Fancy.
it was one of those things where when you have a bunch of guys that not really pissed off is not the right word, but felt underappreciated by other people, you have that chip on your shoulder that you want to show that, hey, we belong here. And
Guys looking for a shot, basically.
exactly. And really the light at the end of the tunnel was really going to be that third year, my senior year, because that's whenever we were going to play the Arizonas, the Oklahoma States, those type of that type of competition. And that's what I've always wanted to. I always felt that we could play with those guys. And I mean, the rest is pretty much history, but it's kind of one of those things where when you grow up as a coach's kid, coach's kids are special kids because it's always, well, it's because your dad was the head coach that you're the starting quarterback. Well, I mean, you hear that all the time, and you kind of get numb to it because those people that are saying it aren't really they're not there for the early morning weights. They're not there for all those things where you have to be perfect, right? And so
You didn't
as
get
you
it for
grow up, yeah, as you grow up that way, then that kind of becomes embodied in your mentality, and that kind of carried me through college, then past my playing days into the coaching days as well. That nothing is going to come easy, and you've gotta fight for everything you want.
awesome, man. Yeah, I was gonna ask you though, like, I mean, looking and seeing where the UTSA program is now, and like, I mean, let's say hindsight 2020. I mean, do you ever reflect on that and see like, you were a part of like the starting of something special there? I mean, this program, it's come a long way. It's nothing now for like a few UTSA football players to get drafted now. And you know,
Yeah.
if I mean, if I was you, it'd always be in the back of my head, like, I'd probably brag about it though and be like, yeah, I started that shit over there.
Yeah, I mean it's something special. I know Coach Traylor, he was one of the first that called me actually whenever I got the job over here. We had a good little conversation, and he is an unbelievable man to be able to carry on the transition uh, from Coach Coker to Coach Wilson to now him, and he's done an unbelievable job of not only the success he's done on the field, but the involvement that he's brought with the alumni as well, and that's something special for me because it is special because we see that success, and we are proud of that. And I'm proud of the way that Frank Harris has broke every single one of my records except for the number of interceptions in a football game. And I'm still upset at him for not being able to take that one out of the record books for me too. But I mean, that's what we built. That's what we wanted to see. We didn't want them to go 8-5 every single year. We want them to go win conference championships and get recognized at the national stage. And that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Awesome, awesome. You mentioned Coco.
You must have not thrown a lot of picks. Your stats say that you haven't thrown a lot of picks, so
Well, I know being the first quarterback, every single pick I threw was gonna up the ante a little bit. So
Hey man, look at it this way. There was a time you held every record in the book at UTSA.
every single record,
Nobody can take that away from you.
good and bad. Yep.
But no, I wanted to ask you about Coach Coker real quick. I mean, just looking at, I mean, we watched him on TV growing up watching college football and stuff, and the guy looked like a hard ass. And I just wanted to know, when he came in there, did he come in there like a hard ass or like trying to set an example, or did he take in the fact that, you guys were a brand new program, it's going to take patience and stuff like that, or was he just like, run and gun from day one?
So quick little story. I kind of always tell this story because it kind of embodies the man that he really is. So after I decided to leave Texas State, I took a visit over there, and it was kind of an informal type of deal, and walking around campus, and then went into the little coach's office. The coach's offices at that time were just a double wide trailer. There was nothing there. It was nothing. It literally, there was a vision, right? And so we go into the trailer, and their coach Coker is, and it's me, my wife, my mom, and my dad, or not my wife, but she was my girlfriend at the time. But then my mom and my dad. And so we all go in there and sit down pretty much at his desk, and he's just kind of talking to me about life, about things, about my dad. He had heard of my dad, and his phone in his office was ringing, and I was like, Coach, I mean, go ahead, you can answer it. He goes, no, it's fine, it's fine. Well, it rang again. I was like, Coach, like seriously, it's fine. Like we'll get out of your hair. And he reaches over and he unplugs the phone, and he said, now you don't have to try to rush out of here. And then he said, you're the most important thing in my life right now, Eric. And that's what kind of guy he was, right? Like he was a hard ass whenever he needed to be one. But he was that CEO of, he's there to get the recruits there, and he's there to kind of mold and put his hands on where the trajectory of this thing is going to go. But I mean, he's one of those guys that he gave me that chance, right? And I would do anything in my power to help him. And I know if I could vote 100 times, then I'm going to vote for him to get in that college football Hall of Fame, because he is that Hall of Famer to me.
National champion, man. Come on, you got to get
Yeah, absolutely.
That Reed calling him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's told us some pretty
Jump
crazy
on Ed Reed for
stories.
you, man.
Dude, that
He,
old
to-
one.
he told us some crazy stories about the U too.
Oh,
So,
dude, I can only imagine.
Mm-hmm. But to go from that, top of the fucking college football realm, and then, to start a whole new program, like that's
And he had
crazy.
been retired too.
Yeah, no, he had been. That's true.
yeah.
We're hearing about it
And-
whenever
And
we're
he was the perfect guy for the job, because that's exactly what UTSA needed. They needed a big time name to get guys excited to want to start a program.
Like Austin said earlier, we were kind of looking at your stats. Did a little research on you. We're not complete, idiots when we try to do this thing. But I wanted to ask you: was there a time you started to think maybe you could make it to the next level, or was it like coaching? Is that what you want to do all the time? Because I mean, your junior year, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I mean, and you were on that Manning Award watch list too in the preseason the next year. So, I mean, did it ever cross your mind? Is what I'm asking.
I mean, yes, the dream is always to go to the league, right? And the problem with that is that you've got to be unbelievably gifted, and you have to be very lucky, right? And unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards for me. I know I did my pro day. I was talking with a couple of teams, but it just never panned out. And then after that, I tried my luck at the CFL. Had a couple of tryouts there, couple of mini camp invites, but nothing really came from it. And it is what it is. It was hard to accept, because that was something that football was just almost. I don't want to say that I did, like that was my identity, because I've always felt that like God is one of the most important things in my life, family, and then it was football. But it was something that I loved to the core, and loved the preparation, loved the camaraderie in the locker room, loved the working out part of it, and then loved the actual football part of it. And the moment that it kind of set in realization that it wasn't there, then the next best thing is to be a coach, because that's the closest thing you can be. And sometimes you think that coaches do it because they can't play it anymore. Sometimes that's the truth, and sometimes that's not a bad thing, because there's that pride and that passion for it. Now, it becomes an issue whenever you have a 40-year-old guy going out there trying to think that he can play, and then he gets hurt because he's not as young as he was once. But I feel like I can still sling it around to some of these boys over here, and I gotta keep them humble too. So,
Quarterback.
Hey, one of the closest things in my heart is the Green Bay Packers.
mhm.
They one of those teams that contacted you?
No, they weren't. I would have
come
loved to been to go over there to Lambeau Field, but
Same colors you got, man.
They called him and he unplugged the phone.
Yeah. Hey,
no.
man. Well,
it
I
was,
mean,
yeah.
go
I
ahead.
mean, it was a dream for sure, but unfortunately, that's not the path that God wanted me to have.
Okay. Well, I gotta ask you this: if you could do it all over again, would you change anything?
No. I think I was able to start something really special. I've been able to learn a lot through the process, and it's been a heck of a ride for sure.
Awesome. So,
Maybe I should have been about 6'4". If I would have been about 6'4", I would have had a better chance. But other than that, no, I wouldn't change anything.
yeah. So you wrap up your college career there at UTSA. Like I said, holding every record in the book, So and
By default,
well, you still got it, man. Uh, After that, correct me if I'm wrong, but you went on to the University of Houston, correct? To quality control coach. Is that what I read? Is that
yes,
reading that
yeah.
correct?
The first year was a quality control. I was working under Travis Bush, who he was the one that recruited me to Texas State, and then he was the offensive coordinator at UTSA. After 2 years at UTSA, he took the a job at Houston, and then once I graduated, he was the offensive coordinator there at Houston under Coach Tony Levine, and so I was able to head on over there. It was a brand new offense. It was the run and shoot, and kind of learned that type of offense because at UTSA it was more the TCU type of offense. And so I was able to learn that passing attack from Coach Bush, and did that for a year. Unfortunately, we went 8-5. We won the Armed Forces Bowl at Fort Worth, and that coaching staff got fired. And then that's whenever Coach Tom Herman came on board after he had just won the national championship with Ohio State, and Major Applewhite was the offensive coordinator, and ended up, instead of quality control, I went kind of back to school, got my master's, so then I was into the graduate assistant role there for 1 year, and being able to work for Coach Herman, Coach Applewhite. Applewhite was one of those guys that I grew up watching
Remember?
for UT. I mean, UT, Chris Sims, those days, and the glory days right before Vince Young
A great
came
football.
into the picture.
Great football.
Yeah,
Major
yeah,
Applewhite.
absolutely. And so being able to work for him, I learned a lot under those two gentlemen, along with all the assistant coaches, and we were able to have one of the not the best season in U of H history, but went 13-1, won the ACC or the AAC championship, went to the Peach Bowl, and beat Florida State in Atlanta. And that was that was a really fun year. It taught me a lot about how to coach. It taught me how the big time coaches, how they coach, and how the everything that goes on there, and that's whenever I kind of made that decision where, you know what, I think I want to go back to the high school ranks, because being I saw what it took to be 8-5 with Coach Levine, and it was, we were good. We lost the games that we shouldn't have lost, right?
Question.
Yeah, and then saw what it took to be 13-1, and we should have been 14-1. We lost to a UConn game at UConn. It was kind of a trap game. We had a lot of guys injured, but I saw what it took right there with that preparation, and it just, not just the preparation, but just the hours that those guys put in. And I am not afraid of working long hours at all. I'm not, but when you get to that level, it's almost kind of like you pick either football or you pick family. And at that point in time, I had just had my first daughter, Tatum, and it was hard because I value family really, really high. And so that was kind of the crossroads. And so I made that decision of going and coaching with my father at Medina Valley, and it's been a great 8 years, 8.5 years now. So yeah.
Were you on the sideline when Major Applewhite and that the defensive tackle that got drafted by Buffalo? I remember seeing him
No,
fight on that. Were you there at that
no,
time or no?
no. So
I
Ed
remember his name.
Ed
Ed what?
Oliver.
Ed Oliver.
Oliver.
That's right.
Yeah.
I even tweeted
No.
about that
So
guy in college. I forgot.
no,
Would have been so much better if I remembered his name.
he was actually getting recruited when I was there, and his brother was actually one of the O linemen. Marcus Oliver was one of the O linemen on that Peach Bowl team, and I knew Ed was going to be just a bull in a china shop for sure, because we were quick story about him. I mean, we were recruiting him. We had a Friday Night Lights type of deal in the spring of right before the season, and what it was pretty much we invited like the top 50 kids in Houston, and we brought them to the facility, and then they kind of had like one-on-ones type of deal, and saw Ed just like bull rush every single recruit that we had. And he's obviously a senior in high school too, incoming senior in high school. So he wasn't even on campus yet.
Like grown ass man.
Yeah. And he did all that. And we had our boys were there. Our starting offensive line was there too. And he goes up to each one of them. He's like, I'll do that to you and you too. Can't wait. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this little boy right here is saying that, but he was no little boy, and he proved it for
Still doing
sure.
it too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I knew that dude was gonna be special.
Yeah.
Seeing him play there at Houston. So you joined your dad's staff in Medina Valley, correct? That's what you said.
Yeah. Yep.
To reiterate about your dad, South Texas coaching legend, 39-year veteran, 28 years as a head coach, correct? 200 wins or over?
Yes, sir. 200 wins right on the dot.
State finals. I didn't know that. State finals in Mathis in 1999. Did you know that?
Mathis, Texas. Yep. My brother was the quarterback on that team.
And then state semifinals the following year, I believe.
Yeah, the quarterfinals. So they were, yeah. So really, quarterfinals. So I guess that was the regional finals, maybe. They lost to LaGrange. I know that. LaGrange and Ty Gunn.
Okay. So your dad, he goes from Mathis to Beeville, then to Alice, Medina Valley, and then back to Beeville, correct?
Yes, sir.
You join him in Medina Valley, and then you guys, come back home to Beeville. How excited were you guys to come back to Beeville? First off, I mean, how excited were those kids? Knowing that they got their old coach back. They got the the old gunslinging quarterback. He's back in the staff too. Like, how exciting was that for you guys?
So it was exciting for us, obviously. Me, my dad, and my sister. We weren't able to all coach together in Medina Valley. Me and my dad, yes, but my sister, she wasn't able to coach with us for whatever reasons. And but Beeville made that promise that we can all be there together. And so that's what made Beeville so special. And obviously my sister graduated from there. Felicia graduated there in 07 or 06, one of those. And then I graduated in 09. So it obviously was an important part of our life. My wife graduated from there too. And so going back home, in a sense, was pretty special. Now, I don't know if the kids really knew who I was, because that was kind of about 10 years after I graduated. And so,
up on the wall
yeah, well, those pictures had been taken down, and which that was one of the things that the first things we did was kind of reestablish that pride in the past. And but all those kids, they that first year was a special year, because we had really good core of seniors, and they could have easily had said, hey, this coach comes in May and he's going to change the offense from Coach Bomar's spread offense to a slot T offense. But they did a really good job of adjusting, and we had the first 10-0 season that very first year. We ended up going 11-1, losing at Ocampo in the second round of the playoffs, and in which kind of that one hurts a lot, because it was one of those things where we ended up losing 3 of our fullbacks in that one game, and didn't really have an
Oh
answer to
man,
that.
10-0 to losing the second round. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, but it was special coming back, and that first group of seniors were very special seniors, and I still see them in Beeville, and they're always just great kids. So it's awesome to be able to be an impact on them as well.
awesome. I want to rewind a little bit.
Mhm.
Forgot to ask you this, but um, I'm not going to ask you like what the biggest difference is because obviously there's a huge difference. But how can the high school level be compared to the college level? I mean, you got in at the college level, obviously everybody there was the best player on their high school team, right? So,
Mhm.
as far as like overall preparation and like game plan, what give us a comparison of it.
Well, as a player or as a coach or
Coach.
coach. So at the college level, you don't have to worry about classes. You don't have to worry about anything but football, right? Like the X's and O's, you get a game plan the whole day. Um, the head coaches, I saw them on a different aspect too, because with Coach Herman, I was more involved in some of his activities, and he had to do a lot more with the boosters. He had to do a lot more with the admin, right? But at the college level, you've got to. I mean, you're going to know exactly what you're going to run in the second quarter, on the second drive, on the third play of this situation. If you're going, it's so meticulous, right? And there's so many more resources, obviously, because you have so much more time. At the high school level, you've got a lesson plan. You've got to have your 5 classes, and I taught math in
Never thought about
Beeville. Yeah, and I mean, I'm teaching math in Beeville, so every lesson, every worksheet that I give, I got a grade at some point in time. I only got one conference period a day, um, in which you got to make phone calls, you got to do grades, you got to do grade checks, you got to make emails, you got to do all that stuff. On top of, hey, you better practice, you got to better have your schedule for practice ready. You better have all this stuff situated. You better have your game sheets and your call sheets ready before Friday night. And so again, as coaches in the high school, you're not a coach, you're a teacher coach, right? Just kind of like how we tell our kids here, you are a student athlete. You are a student first. You better get your class stuff done. You better be a good student in class, be respectful. And all that stuff is the same in college, right? But nowadays with the NIL, it's almost more of, hey,
pay me.
if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do on the field, then it doesn't matter what you're doing in the classroom, right? Like, and obviously I'm so far removed and I don't really understand all the NIL stuff. I just know that I wish that it was there whenever I was there, because that would have been nice. But
We'd have been best friends.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you're at the
but
Mama Marchie's
Yeah.
in San Antonio.
yeah,
All the Jalisco's, they'd be
Everything.
fun.
there you go. Yes.
I
No,
always hated.
Hey, all stars.
Yeah, I always hated the fact that they never paid those kids in college. But seeing how things are now with the whole NIL thing, like I'm starting to
it's
like wonder, like maybe they shouldn't have paid him this whole time because it's
yeah,
not about development anymore. It's about how much can you pay me now. So
yeah, it needs to be regulated. That's for sure, because it just turns into free agency every single year. So,
if like Coach Saban walked away, pretty much, right? He just said
mhm.
he was
One
tired
of the
of it.
greats. Yep.
What's the answer? Do you have an answer to that? How we can fix that,
Fix
or how they can
NIL
fix
right
that?
now.
Fix it.
Fix it right now.
It's up
Fix
to
it
you.
right now. Um, you give them a cap. You give every I mean, cap of money. It's kind of like the pros. They got a salary cap that they can't exceed. And when you do that, but then you got to think
Regulates
about,
that.
okay, you got the SEC. They can pay them so much money. What about the AAC? What about those small non-power 5
Conference
conferences?
USA and all that.
Yeah. And so it needs to be regulated, because I mean, right now it's just the rich are getting richer.
hmm And there's no more like, like there's powerhouse teams a lot of time, the ones that have the great players and everything. All these great players are leaving, these big schools, these schools that are usually in, the one of the top 10 teams. And now I feel like there's going to be a different national champion every year because
Yeah.
players are just spreading out everywhere.
And that's good too, right? Like that's good that it spreads the wealth there, but um it turns those smaller programs like not I don't want to say that about UTSA, but one of our best defensive players just went to UT, and it turns it. I don't want the lower conferences to be uh, the farm system, right? I don't want them to be the farm system to the bigger ones because that's what is eventually going to happen. I think if it's not regulated, because UT can pay a lot more money than UTSA right now. And so where are these kids going to go? If they want high quality instruction, then they're not going to look at the money, right? They're going to look at the development. They're going to look at the coaches. But right now, some of the money is what's being driven into some of these kids' minds.
Yeah, I wish I had. Do you have an answer for it? Any bright ideas, Austin? How we can solve it?
Don't let the NCAA freaking control it.
Just let kids right out of high school just go to the pros?
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
might as well, right?
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Not in football. Those
No,
you
it's
mean,
Texas A&M.
those high school kids will get killed with those grown men.
You don't need no cap.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's an ongoing thing, I guess.
Yeah.
You ever thought about getting back into the college level of coaching?
I've it's that's a tough one, right? Like I am living my dream right now of being an athletic director, head football coach at a high school, at a one town, one horse town, and the excitement that I see every single day in these kids, and the difference between high school and college when you're talking about a coaching aspect is that in high school, that is the purest of coaching, because you go from high school, you can go a little bit over about 400 yards that way, and you go see some middle school, and you'll see how really good of a coach you are, right? At the college level, if you don't have to be a great coach, you just have to be a really good recruiter, right? Because those guys are already going to be really good. The elite teams have really good coaches, and they're able to develop those guys. At the high school level, you're going to be either outman or outmatched every single game, especially when you come from the South Texas, right? Like when you get into the second, third, fourth round of the playoffs, we don't succeed because we're from South Texas. Well, there's that's another chip on our shoulder, right? And we gotta change that, because that's when the real coaching happens. Like you can be a really good coach, and you can turn mediocre players to elite teams. And that's what I've never had 5-star athletes. And Nick Saban can walk through this door right here and he'll say, you have no 5-star athletes in this weight room. But that doesn't show what the Rockport Fulton Pirates have in their heart, because we have a lot of really good 5-star hearts in that locker room. And that's why I'm excited to come to work every single day. Yeah, and it's not just football, right? It's not just. We got some girls in this program too that they are unbelievable as well, and they're tit for tat, just as competitive as these guys are, and that's why I'm so excited and so humbled and grateful that I have this opportunity here in this community.
What the hell does Nick Saban know anyway? Shit.
Dude, 5-star heart.
No, that got me a little. I got a little fire started, a little burn right here. You know what I mean? Ooh.
Austin's got a 5-star stomach.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. Before we get to we want to get a little outlook from you for your team next year, but I gotta ask you another question. Maybe a little drama filled here. So feel free not to answer it. But everybody loves a little drama, right? So let me make the setting for you, okay? We got both the Sosas back in Beeville, King and Prince, if you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it seemed as if everything was set up for this fairy tale ending. Veteran coach was going to ride off into the sunset. The pupil is going to take over, carry on the tradition. What happened there, man?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, all of a sudden, we're from George West. Rumors started to fly around rumblings of controversy. Then everyone has all them signs in everybody's yards in Beeville. My wife works in Beeville, saying we stand with Sosa.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't really hear much about what was going on, and I don't mean to jump to conclusions or anything, but I saw that your wife was running for school board, correct?
Yeah.
And so it didn't seem like y'all had plans to leave. So can you give us anything on that?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a tough situation, right? Because it depends on who you ask. There's always two sides of the story, and then there's really the truth. But
Wait,
I know that
I-
my father, he cares about what he does, and his job as the athletic director, in which I've kind of uh, taken to heart, is it is the job of the athletic director to advocate for his coaches, for his student athletes, and for the community. And some people didn't really like the way that he did some of those things, and so that's why there was some controversy there. But I could tell you that he loved kids, he loved his coaches, and he tried to do things the right way. Was he perfect? Absolutely not. He wasn't, but he had a heart of gold, right? And so after the season, it was we had a good season. We overperformed. I felt like we had a bunch of kids that they played really hard, and there was a lady that was going to be getting out of the board, and she had approached my wife and was just like, I think you would be great for this, right? My wife, she was the valedictorian. She graduated with me. She is very successful. She out of college, she went to or she got a business degree from the School of McCombs at UT. Smartest woman I know. 4.0 GPA. She goes with JP Morgan finance degree, moves to Houston to follow me, works in the energy department with Wells Fargo, just multi-million dollars of business that she's working with. Then she comes with me back to San Antonio, then back to Beeville, and she's working from home, from like remote, and she's dealing with like she's writing policies, right? Like
Coach's wife right
she's
there.
just not a stay-at-home mom, because trust me, us teachers and coaches, we don't get paid enough to have a stay-at-home wife, right? But
It's a bucker.
yeah, yeah. And she is a very intelligent woman. And so she was approached, and and we prayed on it a lot. At first I was like, no, we're not going to do this. And then for whatever reason, our heart kind of changed. And you know what? We want to stay in Beeville. We want to be in Beeville. And so she ends up doing the whole school board, applying. She filed for it, and then it wasn't until the very last day that it was available that an opponent wrote in for it. And so we felt that she was just going to be unopposed. It wasn't going to be anything. But then once someone went against her, then we kind of understood that, you know what, maybe the community doesn't really, they want a different direction, right? And so in those 2 months, it was a lot of reflection, and I mean, we did what we try to do. We wanted to win. Obviously, we're those competitors, and we did what we needed to do. But then it's funny how just God works in mysterious ways, right? Like there was some information that we got that just didn't really sit well with us, and I say that about the community, but the stand with the Soza signs, those were like, that was humbling. I honestly, I didn't want to create that, right? Like that had nothing to do with anything that my dad asked for, I asked for. The only signs we put up were vote for Audrey Soza, right? Those are the only signs that we put up. But the community ended up voting for her, and she won by a large margin. but unfortunately, I was asked uh, to apply for this job because this was a very intriguing job, right? And when a door knocks, you've got to open it, you've got to see it, and so that's what I did, um, and it's funny how just doors open and kind of close, and that's pretty much how it went, and it was a very tough decision because trust me, I've been asked this question by the interview committee, by a lot of community members, because um, it was just kind of one of those things where, well, what if your dad's going to probably retire pretty soon? Well, why don't you want to stay? And it's like, well, there comes a time where you feel like you need to go ahead and move on, it felt like that in Beeville. We had an unbelievable supporting cast there. It's always tough to leave the kids because those kids are unbelievable. I think this group that they have is probably one of the most unselfish groups of kids that we've had. It would have been our year 5, so those kids would have been those kids in or year 6. They would have been the 7th graders that we had, and they would have been the first group to go through the whole program, right? And they are what we've tried to build. And so Coach Holmgreen over there is left with some really good character kids. I mean, they made it to the state 7-on-7 tournament for the first time in pretty much 15 years. The last time we did it was in the summer of '08, and so there is some skill over there. There's some athletes. They got some unbelievable linemen, but it's funny how kind of God works in mysterious ways. And even though my wife won, we kind of prayed upon it, and this is where we want to be. This is the situation that we want. And sometimes you just need a fresh new start. And I'll say, man, as much as I miss those kids, and I still keep in contact with them, I think God brought me over here to affect and mold and create relationships with these kids over here, and it's been an unbelievable a month, and it's flown by, but it's been a long time coming. I think it's fun. It's tough the way that it all kind of transpired, because if you would have asked me in January, I would have said we're preparing as Beeville Trojans. But some things you kind of hear some things, you kind of do your own research, and you see that it's if this is what's really the truth, then we need to start moving on. And I think everything happens for a reason. And as much as we enjoyed our time there in Beeville, we love the kids over there. It was time to move on.
For what it's worth, everybody that I've talked to, I mean, I spent a lot of time in Beeville. I mean, they didn't want you guys to move on. Like I said,
Yeah.
We stand with Coach Sosa, signs everywhere, so
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but I mean, hopefully everything works out for you guys in the end.
Hey, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah. Said your wife was number 1 in your class. I could have sworn I read somewhere that you were number 2. Is that true?
I was a gentleman. Okay. I was a gentleman.
So I just didn't want to feel like, hey, my boy's wicked smart here.
You feel just to give her the number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how he got her. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good.
No, it was kind of. I mean, our whole group, our whole graduating class, like we were. I mean, unbelievable. Like our grade point averages, we were so competitive, and like I think I graduated with a 109 or a 110, and she was right there. And then like number 15 in our class was like a 107. Like it was really smart, but we were all really, really close. And that's the thing.
So wait a minute. That's correct. She was 1 and you were 2?
She was 1, I was 2. Yeah. Yeah.
Genius children, man.
Yeah.
Better start saving for Harvard and Yale and all that shit.
Yeah. Well, you can add to that bank right there.
Hey, Coach, real quick. I know when you applying for this Rockport Fulton job and you're kind of getting like the feel like, hey, I think it's time to move on. Was there any talks with your dad saying, hey, maybe you come coach under me for once for a year or two? Anything
I
like
don't,
that? Or are you like, no, I'm ready to go golf
I
and
don't,
stuff?
no, I don't think my mom would allow that. I think,
I hope his dad don't hear this.
That'd be wrong.
yeah,
All right.
no, I think, my mom had retired, I think about 6 years ago. And so she's lived that retired life. She spent 29 years in teaching, 29 and a half years actually. Uh, I asked her, Mom, why not just finish out the year and you can get even 30? And she said, because I am done. I want to enjoy. And my dad deserves that. He's done that for 39 years and 28 years as a head coach. I mean, as a month as a head coach and athletic director, I'm kind of mine is blown and how he did it for 28 years and had the success that he's had. Um, he deserves to spend some time with my mom and go travel and not have to worry about the things he's had to worry about over the last couple of years. Uh, no more parent conferences, no more school board meetings that he has to go to, and he gets to enjoy he gets to enjoy his life with the love of his life. So I'm proud of him. I know I'm not gonna turn him away if he wants to come and be a consultant over here. I would love that. He always said that once I get a head job, then he would come back as like a middle school coordinator and help run the middle school program. But I don't think anytime soon he's going to want to do that because
Hey, man,
he's got
I'll visit
hobbies.
your facility when you get there.
Yeah.
How nice they are.
You're gonna say, I ain't calling you sir, boy. And that's awesome. Let me ask you real quick. What's one of the biggest things you learned from your dad? It can be in coaching, fatherly advice.
Yeah. I think surround yourself with people, with smarter people than you are. He's done a great job with his coaching staffs and as an athletic director, I don't know all the answers. I don't. And I told the interviewing committee that I've told Dr. Austin, our superintendent, that. But the guys that I've been able to recruit here and to be able to hire are guys that that have wisdom and that's kind of his philosophy. His philosophy was you can't micromanage. You've got to trust the people to do their jobs, and that's what I've tried to instill in my coaches, both on the male side, the girl side, and the junior high staff. Is I don't want to have to micromanage. There may be things that I want to be done in a certain way, but I'm going to let you be you, and I want you to be the coach and the person that you are. And if you need help and you need guidance, then I'm here, right? And that's something that unless you've worked for my dad, you may not understand that he lets you be you. And until you've shown that you couldn't, right? And then that's where the micromanaging kind of comes in. But to say that my dad was a micromanager, I can't ever say that. To say that he wasn't a supporter of all sports, he was the person that I felt was the biggest supporter of multi-sport athletes. And if there was an activity that was going on, he tried to make it there. And so, I mean, the list goes on from the things that I've learned from him, right? But I am going to be my own person. I've got to, but you learn how to coach, you learn how to lead, and sometimes in your whole life, you learn how not to do things too, right? Like I've worked with coaches where I take that and I write that down. It's like, hey, I don't want to be doing that, and that's from like today all the way from whenever I was playing in high school and everywhere in between. You've taken those mental notes, you've taken those things where, hey, I want my son to be coached by that person right there. And so it's the list goes on and on for the things that he's obviously taught me, because it's been 34 years that I've been able to take some lessons from him. But at any point in time I can give him a call and ask him for advice, and that's another fountain of knowledge that I can pull from as well.
Well, they can't be disappointed in you as far as surrounding yourself with smarter people. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously your wife was number one, you were number two. So
And I'm with y'all right now, guys.
You're getting dumber right now.
so you got this job at Rockport, May 7th, correct? That was the day it was I guess officially went through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have you got a chance to meet the kids yet? And what are you dealing with over there? Younger team, more experienced team? I saw record hasn't been great the past 2 years. I saw 5-16 the last 2 years. But three different head coaches, if you counting you in the last 3 years. So
Yeah. So the first thing that I tried to do, and it was kind of an emotional day on that first day, because obviously when they offered me the job, obviously I had to tell the kids, I had to go meet with some members of the community in Rockport Fulton, and then got announced, right? And then that next day I started here in Rockport Fulton. And it was a very fast moving thing. But the first thing I wanted to do was to meet all the kids. And so that was the first thing I wrote on the board: meet every single student athlete. And so I was able to do that. First period, I met all the upperclassmen boys. Then I went to go meet the freshman girls. Third period, I went to go meet all the sixth grade pre-athletics. So those kids were going to be seventh graders next year. Fifth period or sixth period was seventh grade, met all the boys and girls there. Seventh period was eighth grade boys and girls. And then eighth period was freshman boys and then upperclassmen girls. And that was the very first thing I wanted to do.
making rounds, man.
Yeah, I mean that was important for me because, one, it was so late in the school year because we had about 2 weeks before finals. And so they're not going to be able to see me all summer unless they come to strength and conditioning, right? So I wanted them to see a face with a name. The next thing I did, I wanted to meet all the coaches. So I had a meeting the very next day and met every single coach, scheduled interviews with them, one-on-ones, and got to dive into those coaches' lives. And that was one of probably the most impactful thing that I was able to do. That was one of the things that my dad had asked me, had encouraged me to do. And those meetings were very impactful to me because I got to learn who was here and their stories as well. And you can demand a lot from people, but if they don't respect you or they don't really think of you as on their team, then you're not going to get the most out of them. And so I tried to show them who I was as a person, tried to ask them questions to get to know them. And I think I've made a good
Impression.
progress.
Yeah.
Yeah, good impression on them. But I'm not doing anything that it's not me. That, like, if me and you've known each other forever, you would know exactly what I'm doing over here. And that's kind of been what's so important. As far as our team, we have a very we lost quite a few playmakers last year, but we have a lot of really good underclassmen and incoming seniors this year. Our incoming freshman group is going to be really, really good. But our senior class, that's what that like the heart is right now. And it's like that for every group, right? Like you're gonna have a good senior class. If they're good leaders, then we're gonna have a pretty good team. If they're gonna start pointing fingers, then we're not gonna be very good. And so that this summer is very, very important to kind of bring everybody together and show them what Pirate Pride is all about.
You guys were in the same district as Rockport while you were in Beeville too, correct?
Yeah, and football we were, and then all other sports we are as well. Now with realignment, football, we're no longer in the same district as Beeville, but we are in the same district as all the other sports with volleyball, basketball, baseball, and softball and track.
Wish I were we'd have gone to that game.
Yeah.
Could have
Have they done the schedule already? Like the
football schedule.
Yeah, yeah.
It's come out, correct? The football schedule has come out.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you can pull it up, Austin. It should
should
be
be a
there.
packed stadium if that's on
No,
in
it's
a
not.
couple
It's
years.
not. Is there any games that you're looking forward to this year?
Every single game. What are you talking about? The next one. That's the
Cal
one
Allen, come on.
Next,
that's the one that I'm looking for, is just the next one.
yeah, that's a Tom Brady quote right there. next ring.
The next one.
On to
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
What so you have younger players right now going into this first year, or would you say
You know, it's gonna be to be honest, we have 51 juniors and seniors that are projected to be like in football next year. So it's we're gonna have a lot of numbers, and that's what you kind of win with, right? You got to win with numbers, and it's gonna be important for us to be able to evaluate them, and that's what this summer is so important. I know UAL gives us that time for sports specific, and the majority of my coaches have been able to come here and learning the kids, building those relationships with the kids, and installing our offense and defense, and so we're going to have a good group of the seniors. We're going to ask some of those juniors to have to fill in, and then there's a handful of sophomores that are making impressions as well. So it's kind of all scattered out, but it's a good looking group right now. They're doing everything that we're asking of them. We asked them to focus on the little minute details, and we kind of got onto them on Tuesday about not setting up the racks correctly, like making sure that you have two 25s on the outside, two 2.5s on the inside, and just setting up the weights the right way. And we told them that on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, after we were done, the first thing they do, the whistle blows, boom, everybody goes to the racks and they set it up. And that's something special, because that's coachability, right? That's taking pride, and sometimes you just have to set the expectation, and the kids are going to meet the expectation wherever that expectation is. And I know we have the coaches here to be able to push us to the next level for sure.
51 upperclassmen, huh? Juniors and seniors. So you can be kind of in win now mode, full head of steam, balls to the wall, you drop a you run a mile, shit like that.
Yeah, it ain't going to be a rebuilding year. That's for sure. Like we can't do that to the seniors. It's going to be we've got to win now type of deal. And we challenged the seniors that, and we said, hey, we're either going to win with you or without you. So either you want to be a part of it, then don't let those underclassmen take your spot. But you have every right to take the spots that you want. But we're gonna put the best 11 on the field at every single play.
Awesome. And what do you want these guys to learn from you? Last question about the team.
That you win. You win with love for sure. You got to love each other, and it's special because I've spent a lot of time with these kids, and they're taking their guard down too, and they're allowing me to coach them hard. They're allowing our coaches to coach them hard. And in the summer, it is fun, right? We've got to make it fun, because we're having workouts at 7 a.m. in the morning, and because a lot of these kids, they got to go work. They sometimes football ain't the most important thing to them right now. Sometimes they are the reason why they have electricity at the house, and that speaks volumes to me, because I've got to understand that, right? I got to understand that as a coach, because it is not a win at all cost type of deal. It's we got to mold these young men and women to productive citizens of society. That's really what the main root of it is. And the only way that you can do that is by building relationships, by understanding where they're coming from. I know I had a kid that he was so apologetic. Coach, I am so sorry, Coach. I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Coach, I'm going to have to leave 30 minutes early because I got to get to work. I'm like, okay, I got you, man. Like, just let me know, and then you can head out. And he's like, well, Coach, can I come in 30 minutes early? I'm like, absolutely, we're here. So that's the kind of kids that we have. But I just want them to understand that the legacy or what they do today is building that legacy for the younger kids.
Yeah.
And we kind of talk to that to our upperclassmen, is that those freshmen are looking at you, those junior high kids are looking at you, and if you carry yourself the right way, then you're going to be your legacy is going to live on. Whether you're there or not, you're going to be able to follow that, or those kids are going to be able to follow the legacy that you built, and that's something that I've tried to take pride in. I know the guys at UTSA, that first group, we try to build that legacy so that those underclassmen can build. And even though I've never played it down with Frank Harris, like, I'm proud because I feel like I played a part in that. Although he was such a better athlete than I am, but and that pride is there, and we have a lot of pride here at RF, and it's one of those things where we want to bring all those guys back and show them that, hey, we're going to build upon that pride, build upon that tradition, and become one of the best, not only in South Texas but in the state.
Awesome. Bet you get some damn good pregame speeches, man.
You were supposed
I don't know.
There's twice I've gotten kind of fiery up here, man.
You were supposed to build that pride at Texas State, okay?
Yeah, well, they let one go too. So
They say birds up, birds
out. Got to be out.
out.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just trying to show a little respect to you.
Whenever y'all played Texas State, y'all's first game, you have a little revenge in your heart.
So real quick on that one, because I mean, that was obviously all those guys that were playing for Texas State were all the guys that, I mean, they redshirted with me. They were right there with me. And that was probably by far the funnest game I've ever been a part of, because the trash talking on both sides was so unbelievably fun. Like, it was, there was nothing being said that no one could keep it with a straight face. And luckily we were the ones that came out on top. I think that's why it was so much easier for me.
I know.
But that was actually the game that I proposed to Audrey after the game. And I threw, so you mentioned the 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. My first interception that season was, I think, in the second quarter of the first game of the year with South Alabama. I threw a out route behind my receiver, and he got picked. I went the whole season up until Texas State, the last game of the year, and I ended up throwing 2 picks in the second half. And it was funny. Yeah. It wasn't funny at the time, but my dad, he kind of talked to me as though, hey, Eric, I knew when you threw those 2 picks in the second half, I thought you were getting some cold feet and you didn't want to have to propose to Audrey. And I was like, no, I wasn't doing that on purpose. That's for sure. So, but it was that was definitely a fun game, but even better that we came out on top. And I think we are still 5-0 against Texas State, 6-0.
Sure, man.
Y'all got a win yet?
You built that.
He's rubbing it in your face.
I know.
Look at you.
Texas State alum.
Hide your face.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right. Someone has to be the little brother.
Oh,
We are. Hey.
end him. Keep going.
Hey, we got
going.
we got that Armed Forces Bowl coming up.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There you go.
Started the competitive eating at Texas State.
Duh. Oh, in Jones Hall, yeah. Duh.
Awesome. So, how's your family adapting to the whole coaching life thing? I saw you got 3 little ones, correct?
Yes. I got Tatum. She is 8. Carter, he's 6, and then Cameron, she's 2. I think they're coaches' kids. They are gym rats. Anytime that they get to come to the field house, they want to be here and want to run around in the weight room and run around on the turf. And it is, I mean, that's all they know, right? That's once one sport ends, it goes on to the next sport. And I think they're going to be pretty special, and they're excited. They want to get over here. They got their green and gold in the clothing department, and they wear it with pride. So I'm excited. I hope we can get moved over here pretty soon. I know I mentioned we close on our house next week, but the sooner we can move over here and the sooner we can dive into this community and the better it will be for sure.
Me and Scott put together like a little rapid fire question thing for you. Wanted to
Gotcha.
see if you want to go through it real quick. All right. There's no right or wrong answer. Just something to kind of get off the football stuff and the serious stuff. Getting us a little hyped up in here, so we need to calm it down.
3 hours now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So they're just this or that. So we got first one: Jordan or LeBron.
Jordan.
All right. Messi, Ronaldo.
Messi.
Oh, I don't know.
Mm.
I like it.
Yankees, Red Sox.
You know what? Astros.
He doesn't
Okay.
ain't good either.
Told you.
Beer, wine.
Mm. I'm a wine guy, yes. Wine over beer.
And we didn't know what kind of offense you ran, so here we are with slot T or spread.
Multiple.
You run them both?
I'd run them both. Yep. We can do anything in the spread, or we can do everything.
Why don't more
in the
people do
slot
that?
T
I
and
don't
the
get
spread.
that.
It's so hard to game plan too. You just throw like one little package of slot T in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what we do is we go into spread with our slot T personnel. So, what are you going to do as a defense? So
Gotcha.
that's what we're not the traditional slot T mafia. We're one of those where we want to control the ball, but we want to
How many
control the
people
game.
claiming that these days, man? Slot T a lot. Everybody knows about that, huh?
We got
Yeah.
him a trophy now.
Yeah. Coffee or tea?
T.
All right. Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Okay. And do you call or text?
Text to say,
All right.
call me.
And last one, did Dez catch it?
Absolutely, he did.
Oh, get out of here. Hey, get out of here.
Absolutely.
Get out of here.
All right, Eric, we decided to do like a little raffle. We found some Eric Sosa fans around the area, and we did a little ticket pulling, and one lucky fan gets to ask you a question. Okay,
All right.
he's going to join the Zoom call right now, and he gets to ask you the question. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Should be on any second now.
Oh, no. Not this one. How did I know it was this one?
Oh, y'all know each other?
No.
How did he win?
I don't know how he won. I'm not seeing anything though.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the name.
Can you see him, Eric? Oh, there he is. There he is.
What's up? There we go.
How did he win? How is
Let's
this guy the
go.
I think it's
winner?
Eric Sosa. Y'all know each other? Did you?
Yes, I've
set
always
this
wanted to meet him. I've been waiting to get his autograph.
I think that's my hat, actually. I think that's my hat.
Man, come on.
I'll settle it on
Oh,
Thanksgiving. All right.
Huge fan.
Whenever I found out I was going to do this, I was waiting for I was going to put on my green shirt, my Rockport hat, but
Hey,
don't have one of those
you
yet.
haven't been back yet, man. You're in H-Town.
This is actually a running thing. I talked to his other brother-in-law, and he doesn't have any swag either. So
Yeah.
seems that Eric is holding the swag close to the chest.
Hey, meet all the kids. Number 2 is get the family the swag.
There it is.
Man,
Yeah. That's absolutely what it has to be, huh?
gotta have it.
Yeah. So the better question is how's father life over there, Brady?
Man, it's great. It's just being a dad. I'm ready for number 2. So
Yeah, life
Yeah,
changed
man.
any?
yeah, it hasn't. I told my mom that the other day. Life hasn't changed for me. Just living the same good life. Still get to play golf. Still get to do all the same stuff.
There you go.
We're gonna ask the audience, or we'll ask both of y'all, who is the better UTSA football player?
Well, that's sort of my fan question that I had. I'm gonna add a little to that, but
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
so no, you're good. This is perfect. Leading right into it. So Eric is known as the first quarterback of UTSA. He's got the famous first touchdown. He's got the mural of him in all of the facilities of him scoring the first touchdown. But my question to Eric is, will he go down in UTSA football history as the better football player, even though his brother-in-law not only caught touchdown passes, I threw a touchdown pass.
Ooh.
The question is, did Eric ever do
Tough
both?
question, Eric.
Brady, did you run one in?
I was gonna say, I was like, how many rushing touchdowns?
I didn't run one in, but I mean, passing one, that's a big one.
That's a big one. Okay. Um,
Our turns, anyone?
No.
what do y'all think, guys? Let's put it to the poll right here. The George West natives over here.
Man. I don't know.
George West,
What do you think,
man.
Scott?
These colors don't run. I'm gonna have to go with Brady.
Let's go. Let's go.
No, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. I know probably one of the games that I remember the most is that North Texas game my senior year because it was their senior day. And then I think Brady, correct me if I'm wrong, that was your first game that you traveled, correct?
Yep. As a freshman, it was also the coldest game I've probably ever been in as well. It was freezing.
Yeah. And that was a real special game because although Brady was one of those guys that he worked hard. He was that like
Was that
I
Cole
wanted to
Beasley?
play. I wanted to play with him, right? Like he was the stud in high school. He was the annoying kid at those football camps that whenever I did those football camps in high school, he would always take my hats. And that's the reason why I haven't given him one because he's going to steal one eventually when he comes over.
For sure. Definitely happened.
But he was one of those guys that he epitomized what UTSA football was about, right? Like he came back. I mean, unbelievable. He tore his ACL his senior year, got reconstructive, whatever on what was it, December the 5th, and then ended up playing in district playoffs in baseball. And like that just doesn't happen. And that just talks what kind of guy he is. And when he had the opportunity to go to UTSA, that was really special, not only for me, but for Audrey, for their mom. I mean, it was a great time, and that game against North Texas was a really good one because we won when they were leading the conference, and we needed to win out in order to have a chance to make it to a bowl game. But that was fun because that was the first game that he was able to travel and I was able to share that with him. So
Yeah,
Look at you
that
two.
was a good one.
Look at you two.
Still don't know how he won.
I know. I was to tell you, whenever they told me I had to have a question, I thought a lot. I knew there was a lot of George West guys on here. I wanted to know too if the Beeville Trojans that lost to Lake Travis in the Alamo Dome could have taken on the 2013 George West Longhorns back in our day. I wanted to know if that would have been. I was playing quarterback then, so we'd have got to and free safety, which Eric also did. So it would have been a great head-to-head matchup that would later have tons of bragging rights in the family.
That would have ended quite like you think.
Are you comparing yourself to Garrett Gilbert right now?
Lake Travis versus
Man,
George West, Texas. I don't think that. Yeah.
Man,
I'll say that high school team my junior year was probably the best high school team that I've ever been a part of, coaching and playing. That was some. If we would have had 2 or 3 more guys to be able to stay with Lake Travis, then I don't see how we lose to Dayton and then play Highland Park in the state finals. That would have been pretty cool.
I vividly remember that Lake Travis game. I remember Garrett Gilbert being a great quarterback, but what I do remember more than that was how big they were compared to the Beeville Trojans. Their offensive linemen probably averaged 6'6", 6'7", all 300 pounds in high school, and it was the cool underdog story of these guys who they thought they were going to run over. And they hung with them in there until about halftime. You could see where the size and the depth started to weigh on Beeville. They just needed a few
Different
more
monster,
guys.
man.
Yeah.
Different area of Texas, man. Oof.
But man, I remember that game vividly. That was a good one. Awesome.
Yep.
We got another question for Eric there, Brady?
Man, let me see. I did talk to my sister, his wife, before this to help me sort of conjure up questions, and she wanted to know when he was going to be home tonight.
Ooh.
Are we keeping you? We're keeping you right now?
I don't know. I'm still in the office, so I gotta I gotta drive home to call Brady and tell him who the real the answer was a little
Yeah,
bit.
we'll settle this on Thanksgiving or next time I'm down there. We'll get to hash it out.
I got a story to tell you, Eric.
What's up?
I never met you or anything. I was a couple years older than you, but you did happen to embarrass me one time.
Uh-oh. I
I had a grand.
apologize.
Who doesn't?
I had a I had a grand aunt who lived in Beeville, and do you remember the Bay Area Sports Magazine, right?
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, and
Mhm.
all that. Well, my grand aunt, she's old, she couldn't see very well, and my mom had told her, oh, his picture's in the Bay Area Sports Magazine, and she was like, oh, well, I've seen those around at the store, this and that. We go to her house a week later, and as I walked through the door, she said, "Look, I put your picture up on the refrigerator." I shit you not, it's a picture of Eric Soza in a Beeville Trojans jersey. And bless her heart, she was probably about 88 years old at the time, couldn't see very well, but I mean, you were the player of the week. The whole back of the damn magazine was just you. So yeah, safe to say we just told, oh, okay, thanks, and just left it at that. So she might still have that picture of Eric Sosa on her refrigerator to this day.
It's hilarious.
Well, I apologize for that.
You're good, man. But anyway, you guys got anything else for him?
No, real quick. I know you've been coaching going on 9 years now. Any like good coaching sayings that you use? Like I know Coach Bush, he would always tell us, "Hey, quit jacking around." I know Coach Davenport and Coach Holt, they had some not so. I don't want to say them now, but any good
Yeah, be
coaches?
careful. Be careful.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're gonna have to ask the kids on that one. I know that they're the ones that hear it all, and uh, I just the thing that I've been telling the kids, and they're starting to finish my sentence is because we have our workouts at 7 a.m. I tell them the hardest thing to do in the morning is get up and put those shoes on, and so I've said that every single day that we've been here, but. Um, I don't know. I'm sure I do have some of those little sayings, and maybe Brady even has some that I don't know of. But um, I don't know. I try not to take myself too serious. I try to get work done, but try to keep it kind of light for those kids too. So I
Hey,
don't know.
real quick, Brady, listen to this. What Eric dropped. He said we don't have a lot of 5-star kids, but we have a lot of 5-star hearts.
That's all that
Oh,
matters, baby.
yeah,
He dropped
That's
like
I
all that
know,
matters,
dude.
baby.
It's gold.
Mm.
That's all that matters. I love it.
Put that on the back of the
On back.
Rockport Fulton shirts. 5-star.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at
We
that.
got to come up. We got to come up with a saying, and our coaches aren't doing a good job of helping me out right now. So we got to.
Oh, I tried to do that too, but I have a few rough ones, but I didn't feel like they made the cut enough. Like nautical nightmare.
Still putting our heads
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Trying to figure it
We're
out.
working
I
it
like
out.
it.
One more question. Who wins in a street fight? I'm just kidding.
Of me,
Austin.
of
Don't
me
answer
and
that.
Eric,
No.
man, my first
Austin
reaction
or
to
Scott?
Wait, no. Wait, is it George West or is it in Rockport?
Oh, I don't know. Home court advantage. No, don't answer. I'm just messing with y'all.
my first I'll tell you my answer. My first action in the street fight is to run, and I'm for a fact faster than Eric, so I'm gonna win in my mind. I'm getting away.
Tire him out first.
Well, okay, who wins? If you run away from me, then that means that I win because I'm in the ring, isn't it?
That's you can have your win, but I'm gonna win I'm gonna have my own win that I didn't take a loss.
We'll take it back down to like an Oklahoma drill. Y'all put the pads on now. Who wins that?
I'm a lot bigger than him. I'm a lot bigger than him.
He's got a little more weight behind him
Yeah,
at this point.
I'll play behind my
The
pads.
leverage though, Brady. I don't know. You can get lower than him.
It's like Oklahoma drill. If you widen my cones a little bit and give me some room to make him miss, I like my odds a lot better.
No, you'll try to dance around. I'll just take you out. It's all right.
Oh, here we go. That's a good question. That's what I should have come with. We could have debated live.
Oh, we done started already. Golly.
I got another question.
Oh,
Who goes
What we
down
got?
in the Beeville Hall of Fame first?
me, definitely not me. It's Eric. I was George
Hey,
West
whoa,
through and
whoa,
through.
whoa, whoa. Or Billy Step.
Oh,
Holy step.
you know who Billy Step is, right, Eric?
I don't know.
You never been to the B
Beeville
Family
bowling
Fun
alley?
Center?
I was gonna say he's got like 100, 300
Greatest bowler.
perfect
Oh,
games.
my-
Greatest bowler of all
No.
time.
No, I am a horrible bowler. I
Oh,
will say that. I will be lucky if I can get into the 120s.
yes, sir. We got to
Yeah,
get Billy
let's-
on. We got to
Billy
find. We
Step.
got to find Billy.
He's gonna be real disappointed that you didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I know. I should have.
He's probably got
should have
Eric's
flapjacked it.
UTSA pictures all in his house,
Like
posters
James
everywhere.
That's
Jesus.
I,
First
I
loss.
know exactly who he was because my granny used to bowl and we used to go to bowling alley all the time and his name is plastered all
Everywhere.
over that
Every
bowling
lane,
alley.
right? Every lane is
Every single lane.
Like Fred.
You can't go anywhere in there without seeing his name up there.
I haven't been to the Beeville Family Fun Center.
Perfect games on every lane. That's a rumor.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, but
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, guys, y'all got any questions for us? I'm glad we could bring you two back together again.
I appreciate it.
Good. Thanks for asking me to be on. I appreciate it. I like the
problem.
George. I can't
They
wait
s-
to listen. I want to listen to this thing now. I'm excited to listen.
Hey, you're gonna start sweating because we got a little pumped up in here.
Yeah.
I like that.
I bet he gives some pretty good pregame speeches there.
Hey, Brady, they didn't have the '08 highlight film in the locker room?
Say it one more time.
They didn't have the '08 highlight film. Like, whenever we would play the games, we'd play like the '95 George West
Oh.
highlight film. They didn't have the '08 highlight film in there for you.
No, didn't have it.
I'm gonna have to get it to these kids then.
I'll give it up, man.
I know.
It's over. It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
Well, Eric, we're looking forward to seeing you guys come out this year. Last year we got with a lot of coaches, tried to make one of if you come on our show, we like to come to one of your games. So
Yeah.
we'll look at the schedule. We'll see. I mean, we all work, so we'll see what works out for us and everything, and we'll try to make it to one of your games. But
Yeah.
thanks for coming on, man. Good luck with everything. We hope you can turn things around there. Everything, you adapt to everything over there, and if you need anything from us, I don't know what it would be, but if you need anything, let us know.
I appreciate it. And thank y'all. And anytime y'all want to come to the game, y'all let me know.
All right,
I think I can get y'all the hookup. So I'm good.
Eric Soza, everybody.
Can't get your family hats.
Nope.
Tell me about it.